Hi everybody, welcome back to Toons Reviews. Today we're going to be discussing 5 fragrances that have given me unexpected compliments. That is right. Or 5 fragrances that unexpectedly gave me compliments. Or something to that effect. Unexpected compliments from fragrances that I otherwise thought that weren't going to give me compliments. Keep it tuned. Alright, so a lot of the time, well, nowadays, especially prominent in like these groups you see on Facebook and whatnot, we see mostly people wanting to attract the opposite sex. We do have some fragrance heads in there that are true collectors that really want to have fragrances that have a full spectrum, from anything from designer that are easy to wear to bombastic art like zoologist T-Rex. And for me, the most prominent category of viewer is mostly people that are just getting into it, trying to find fragrances that they can attract the opposite or same sex or whatever. Attract a partner of some kind, and that's okay. That's okay. If that's what you want to wear fragrances for, that is a great tool to utilize getting someone to come closer to you, or it's a very intimate experience that you could have, and it's a great compliment. It's a great compliment. I love hearing, oh, you smell good, or I love working with you because you always smell so good, or whatever the compliment may be. And it's always a pleasure to hear anything that's going to make you have that extra confidence boost. So here I've got 5 fragrances that were unexpectedly complimented as I was wearing them. And why I think that they were unexpected is because I purchased these fragrances solely with the fact that I love them and expected really to not get any love while wearing them. So those are the parameters we're working in. So coming in at number 5 is 1969 Casbah. Casbah is a fragrance that I think would be otherwise deemed as being too feminine. I personally, as I've worn it, don't think so at all. I mean, I've worn fragrances that are purely marketed for women because I don't care. And you shouldn't either. If you like the smell of something, wear it. I'm here to tell you, it's okay. Wear what you like. It's a marketing ploy. But 1969 Casbah caught my attention. I read some reviews on it, so I just blind bought this little 30 ml guy here. It's like $90 on Lucky Scent. And this fragrance is basically caramel candy. It's caramel. It's caramel and a little bit of woods and a little floral touch. Yeah, it's a gorgeous scent. It's very simplistic. It's linear and very easy to wear if you're a gourmand lover. It's not overly sweet either. There's like a little bit of a bitterness to it. Either way, though, I was wearing this maybe 3 weeks ago, a couple times in a row, and got 2 unsolicited compliments with this, and I was just kind of taken aback by it because it's not one that I went into the headspace of thinking, oh, I'm going to get compliments with this. When I wear it, especially, it's not like, oh, I'm expecting to get some kind of positive feedback with it. So it was unexpected, and I appreciated that it actually garnered some positive attention. So that is 1969 Casbah, a great little number if you're a caramel lover out there. So check it out if you are. Number 4 was really, yeah, it really kind of took me aback because I did not expect to get as much love from this. I got a kitty that's scratching at my... No, bless you. Anyway, Lignum Vitae by Beaufort London is a fragrance that I did not expect to... Are you done? Are you done, Molly Sue? Come on. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, anyways, Beaufort London Lignum Vitae is a fragrance that I really didn't expect to get a whole lot of compliments with because it is a little bombastic. Now, yes, it is a gourmand fragrance. It's the easiest to wear out of the collection from Beaufort London. However, it possesses a very true-to-life oceanic experience. You got like the shipwreck, oak casks with some kind of liquor that used to be in it that's now just dumping into the ocean with gorgeous lemon cookies that are dissolving in this ocean, and you can just see all the suds on the top of the ocean as you're resting, bobbing on one of these barrels. That's really how I describe it. And I didn't expect to get as many compliments with this as I have. My fiance loves it on me. I think that this is a wonderful and imaginative gourmand fragrance that can be worn in the spring and summer. So if you haven't checked out Lignum Vitae, it's essentially, again, a shipwreck in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of lemon cookies that are dissolving in the ocean. Freaking gorgeous. Love it. It's one of my favorites from the house. And to me, this was, again, one that I would wear purely for my own enjoyment. And I was getting a lot of unsolicited compliments and people asking what I was wearing. A lot more than I was expecting. So check it out if you have not checked it out. This is Lignum Vitae by Beaufort. Wonderful fragrance. Coming in at number 3 is a lovely little number. We're talking about Pine Ward fragrances again on the channel. I cannot wait to be talking about this house more, because if you're a fan of Slumber House, you need to get your nose on these fragrances. They are incredible. Fantastic. They feel right. They feel right. So this is Revelries. Now, Revelries is a fragrance that I kind of went into it with this expectation that it was going to feel cozy, right? And, I sampled it for the better part of 3 months. And then I ended up purchasing a bottle. This is essentially hazelnut, cacao. There's some beautiful... Here, I'm actually going to spray it on. There's some beautiful natural wood, some sap, some really gorgeous autumnal elements in there. And I really didn't expect for people around me to love it as much as they did. But this cacao, hazelnut, pine sap concoction with a little bit of cinnamon in there, it really has turned heads, which I'm very surprised by, because typically speaking, when I wear these heavier scents that have some more of those carnivorous notes in there, the pine and the sap, and they feel more natural and more sticky, I don't ever expect to get compliments. I just expect to enjoy it for myself. But this has really been winning people over, and I've been very surprised by it. So check out Pine Ward. I'm going to leave a link down below, because it's a wonderful house, and they deserve all the recognition and success that they could possibly get, because they're phenomenal. So again, Pine Ward Revelries, check it out. A beautiful gourmand fragrance. Coming in at number 2. Yeah, it's a very popular fragrance. It's wildly popular in the fragrance community. Actually, like wildly. It's up there with Baccarat Rouge 540 and Aventus, really, at this point. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it should be garnering compliments. When I purchased Creation E by Roja, or Enigma if you're in the UK, I purchased it because I loved it. This is one of 2 fragrances from Roja that I absolutely adore. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the stuff that comes out, to be honest, not as much as some other people, but I can respect and appreciate a lot of what he creates. But this is my second favorite from the house. And when I first purchased this, it really reminded me of a gentlemanly fragrance that I would have been smelling more in the 70s or the 80s powerhouse fragrances. There is a modern twist to it, but this has a lot of elements of that old school Chypre vibe that or even like a little bit of a fougere vibe in there. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily taking over the fragrance, because this is primarily a tobacco, whiskey, almost like root beer fizz fragrance. But I didn't expect women to like it, I'll tell you that right now. This is a fragrance that I kind of went into thinking that it would be primarily men that enjoy it. The same way that Aventus is primarily complimented by men over women. It's true, it's a fact. I've experienced it myself with having gone through 3 4-ounce flasks of it over the last decade. I'm telling you right now, women do not like Aventus nearly as much as men do. And that was kind of what I was expecting to be the experience with Creation E. However, when I sprayed this on for the first time and wore it around my fiance about 1.5 years ago, she almost had tears in her eyes, because she said it reminded her of her grandfather, and she loved how handsome it made me smell. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to smell seductive, right? Like, because it's kickstarting that memory for her. However, I do feel like this is a very great formal, I feel polished, I feel sharp type of fragrance. You're wearing a suit, you're semi-formal rather than semi-casual. Such a good selection. I'm telling you right now, I absolutely adore this. And it has garnered unsolicited compliments outside of my home, and I'm very, very surprised by it, to be honest. And by girls that are more my age or younger. I'm 31, so we're talking like, mid-20s and up complimenting this. So I was just kind of taken aback by that, because it is a fragrance that has a little bit more of that old school vibe to it. So again, not something I expected. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, which I'm sure that you probably likely have at this point, because it's a Roja. Roja's super hyped, and it's Creation E, which is one of the most hyped from the brand. But if you haven't, I love it. It's got that beautiful soda pop, old school vibe with the whiskey and cognac or cigar feel to it. So hanging out in a gentleman's lounge with some soda pop. That is Creation E. Coming in at number 1 is really unexpected. This is one that I bought for myself, expecting for everyone to hate it, to be honest. And primarily just wearing it for my own entertainment and my own desires, letting a story unfold and feeling seductive in my own bubble. This is Francis Kirkchen's Absolute Pour Le Soir. Now, the one thing about this is you're going to have a hell of a time trying to find it. It's discontinued, so I do apologize for that. We've hyped this whole list up for number 1 to be a fragrance that's not easy to get your hands on whatsoever, so my apologies there. However, it is true that this is the number 1 that has garnered compliments that I never in a million years would have guessed would have gotten me compliments, because this is skanky. This is such a beautiful, oh my god, this has made it into my ranks of top 10 favorite fragrances of all time. It's a skanky amber. Skanky. There's not a whole lot of sweetness to this. It's primarily a primitive, animalic, almost urinal-like muskiness to it. I really do compare this to essentially being sweaty pubic hair mixed with amber. There's some cumin in there, which is kind of giving it that vibe, I think. And it is gorgeous. There's a little vanilla in there to give it a little sweetness, a little creaminess as the fragrance develops on your skin. But this is just sex in a bottle. I'm telling you right now, it's beautiful. And it is one that I have worn a few times because, again, my bottle is at like 50% here, and I try to wear it very sparingly because once it's gone, it's gone. I'm going to have a really hard time finding more, and I'm going to pay, I'm going to sell a kidney to get another bottle. Such a surprise, but a welcomed one. I'm glad that other people enjoy this around me. This is one that I've actually contemplated maybe being my wedding day scent. However, probably not, because it's a divisive one. It's a polarizing one, so I might not go with this. However, it is a contender. So let that be what it may be for you all out there that may want to check this out, try to find a sample somehow in the marketplace on the fragrance marketplace, or try to find a bottle. I highly recommend it. I hope you all enjoyed my 5 unexpected fragrances that have garnered me compliments, and I hope to see you all soon. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.